Welcome to the Chromaniacs, your weekly look inside San Diego FC and MLS. My name is Craig Elston, joined by my Chromaniacs, Tony Sanchez and Alex Pena. What's going on, Tony?
I am very, very excited for one and done games. Minnesota coming to town for San Diego next week. We still have some time between here and there, and I'm very excited for this lull, the calm before the storm, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're going to see some rain in the forecast this weekend. And it's perfect that it's this weekend just to get it out of the way, and then we should be all good for the following week where we're in the Western Conference semifinal against the Loons. So I'm very excited about that.
Water the pitch. It's proper maintenance. Just keeping that thing plush and lively for you as we get ready for November 24th. As we record this on November 13th, we're 11 days away from that do-or-die match against Minnesota United FC. Right now, we're here for you with Chromaniacs number 23. It's our pleasure to be part of this journey with you. You know, guys, I was just looking, and I don't really care about this stuff. I've done enough podcasting. Started podcasting 2009 in earnest, and so, you know, working on 17 years of that. So I know that early on the numbers are what the numbers are. It's about creating consistent content, building a show that people like, then you develop an audience, and then from that, things move from there. But I've loved seeing how not only month over month we've gained our audience, but now, especially in playoff time, people are really starting to catch up and lock in. And when you combine our YouTube numbers and our podcast numbers, we're starting to get to a pretty decent place, the kind of place where I know people are listening. So thank you so much to everybody who's been part of the journey from episode 1 of Chromaniacs up here to number 23, plus all of our post-match shows along the way. Please follow us on Instagram if you don't, at The Chromaniacs. A percentage of you don't, because we've got a nice boost over the last couple of matches. Nonetheless, that's fewer than the people who are tuning into each episode now. So a couple of you can follow us on Instagram. Maybe you just don't have Instagram, but if you do, follow us at the Chromaniacs. Terrible SDFC Memes does a great job of pulling some of our clips, putting it to video, and really telling you what the show's been about. If you're here on YouTube, please give us that thumbs up. It takes half a second. You're helping out content creators like us that are working independently and doing it for the love of the game so far. So please give us that help. And if you're listening on podcast, 5-star review, please. Kind written review as well is going to help other soccer fans and other SDFC fans get to us. That's on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks to everybody. All right. With no game to review and no game to preview, what we have is a league to discuss because they've made a seismic move today. A format change to go to the international schedule. We're going to break it all down for you. First, let's get through some San Diego news and notes. There may be. You know, what we have, we'll present. And here it is. Sellout. Holy cow, that took no time at all, guys. That took no time at all. 32-5 locked in for that Monday night football.
Man, it was much faster than I expected. I thought there'd be some lingering tickets like heading into next week where, you know, people could get some last minute ones and, you know, maybe, you know, find a good deal here and there, but no, all sold out. People are ready. They want to see some more playoff MLS action, and it's great. It's great to see. People love supporting this team and love supporting San Diego sports. I absolutely love that, and man, it just kind of attributes everything that the team's doing, and it's paying off. It's paying off for them.
Yeah, it's crazy. Go for it, Craig.
Well, I was just going to ask you, Tony, because here's my surest sign as a San Diego, you know, sports veteran, media veteran, etc., that this is becoming part of the public, knowledge, the zeitgeist, so to speak, when random people who almost never interact with me at all suddenly pop up on Facebook Messenger, quite specifically, asking for me to give them a ticket to the next game, because people, you've got sources, and it's not all and entirely just soccer players or retired soccer players with a K, kicking K. You people know who you are. No, it's other people completely coming out of the woodwork, and I'm like, no, I've got my ticket to the game that I earned by being a supporter. Like, please enjoy finding a ticket. I have no tickets for you. Sorry, so that's how especially in San Diego, people completely out of nowhere. Hey, you've got a ticket for me, right? Like,
yeah. Like, do you work for them? Like, no. Hey, but then I always counter, and I actually just did this with my mom right before we started clicking. She's like, hey, do you have any tickets? She got a ticket for the Cholos SDFC game from a friend, and she liked it, and she wants to go again. I'm like, well, I don't work for SDFC, just kind of, or for that. But if you want to go to a soccer's game, you let me know. So
hey, you're set. You're set, brother.
We're ready to go for that. But I mean, my litmus test is definitely just around town. Just in my line of work, I interact with families in Chula Vista and in the South Bay, and with kiddos at elementary schools, and you start to see more jerseys. You start to see the teachers bring a SDFC sort of jersey, that a shirt from Costco or Walmart, and these little things that you just start popping around town. And the thing is happening, and you start to see the social media of just the lights and sit in the city hall and everything that's kind of comes with a playoff team. And it's not even a playoff team, it's a playoff winning team. And I think that's what now has ignited this fandom for San Diego FC. And even in the supporter section, I know for a fact it was there was a couple of little bumps on the road with the amount of tickets that were bought immediately available. I believe the club did work with the union from Terra San Diego to sort some of those issues out, but that's just telling of what's happening. And even last game, right? The fire marshal was not happy with what he saw in that section. It was great for the fans and everybody who enjoyed it, but if the fire marshal has to start coming in and taking people out because there's too much support from
right,
these little things start to add up, and it's incredible to see the San Diego responding like that, man.
Dude. Does someone have to be like a bouncer in the supporter section now? They have to do the little ticket thing, or the little clicky thing with the number. And it's like, oh, okay, 2 people came out, you 2 can come in.
Yeah,
And
right.
then it's like, all right, 1 person out, 1 person in. Let's do it that way.
Red velvet rope. Well, they do check at the top of the section. Just point of fact for people who may not know. They check at the top of the section on each pathway. Whether to show your supporter ticket specifically in order to get into that section. And every time that happens, I look at them in my silver suit with a silver vest, silver shoes, and a silver wig, and I say, do you think I would dress like this just to get in this section? and they chuckle, but I show my ticket too. But I always want to let them know so that the next time I go through, I don't have to show it again. I'm like, look at the stupid outfit.
Which update
there.
update. Yeah, if you were listening to last episode, Craig, Amazon came through.
Amazon came through record time. So they're a little bit more MC Hammer parachute pants than they are actual suit pants, but nonetheless, they work great. And we were fully suited and booted for the first round match 3 at Snapdragon Stadium. Yeah, that's the kicker to last week's cliffhanger. Chromaniacs 22.
That's why I saw a spike in listens. They were like they were just drawn. Like this is what gets people, this drama of it. Like, did he make it? Following your Instagram stories.
Right. If you had followed us on Instagram at the Chromaniacs, you would have seen the reveal of the outfit on stories. I don't think it made it into the main feed, but on stories it was there, so you would have seen it.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Frontera San Diego. They allowed us to sort of moderate, have the State of the Union as a part of the last episode of Two Balls and a Mic on the same channel on SanDiego.Futbol. So Presidente Miguel Barajas and Vice President Vanessa B were able to come on and just discuss, answer questions. So you can go ahead and check that out. But long story short, again, a lot of this, right? Volunteers doing volunteer stuff for the love of the game. Talk about the love of the game. Talk about the love of the city. Talk about the love of the sport. Talk about love for San Diego FC. That's it. Frontera San Diego. Check it out. That's what they came over to do. Inform yourself and be part of it, man. Craig has a great time every time he's there. I low-key worry, like whenever you're like, yeah, I'll be home for the post game. I'm like, maybe this is the day. Just drinks too much and has one too much fun.
Will you? I've got a bit of a routine, and I feel like I've pushed the edge once or twice, and I try to back off from that edge. Like we were talking about something completely different before we started recording, but Tony, at your age, there's certain things you can get away with that your body just will say, nope, bad day tomorrow. So that line's kind of drawn for me, but the line below that, well below that, is like, be coherent enough to do a broadcast and not just be a waste of time. So yeah, I gotta be at least sharp enough to be with my fellow Chromaniacs on a post match. So yeah, it's a balancing act, and I try and find that balance. And the big part of it is nothing, after the pregame sale is over, that's it. No more alcohol. You gotta straighten up and and fly right.
Yeah, and that's a Chromaniac. Craig is fine.
Yeah, Craig's fine.
I just stay home. Yeah. Let's talk international break. This is the thing that our next subject is about to help dispel, the middle of a playoff run, and look at these key players disappearing. That's Chucky, that's Dreyer, that's Godoy, that's McNair. I wish them all well, and by that I mean wrap them in bubble wrap and get them back here as soon as possible.
And for Chucky Lozano, he's not even playing in a World Cup qualifier. He's playing in a friendly, if he plays however minutes. But if anyone's interested in watching those matches, it's Mexico and Uruguay, Saturday, November 15th. And then again, they play on the 18th of next week against Paraguay. Panama's doing a World Cup qualifier against Guatemala. They're playing right now, so you're probably not going to be able to watch that one. But the next one's going to be on Tuesday. And Northern Ireland, Slovakia tomorrow Friday, 11:45 in the AM, and then Luxembourg on Monday. And the Danish team will get Belarus and Scotland. So Belarus is on Saturday, Scotland on Tuesday.
Panama up 2-0. If anybody's,
all right.
Good for Hannibal. Good for him. He's excited. He's excited not only for like the World Cup qualifier, but for the Champions Cup. I saw the little video afterwards when they qualified. It's like, all right, we're gonna go to Panama. I'm like, all right, good for him. He thinks he's gonna be on the team this next year.
Oh, you don't think he will?
I think that's gonna be an off-season discussion.
Okay, fair enough. I hope he's back. I mean, right now, I hope he's back. You can talk me out of it later if you want, but feel like we like his bite in the lineup. He is excited to go play for Panama, though. That's for sure. So, hey, when soccer players are playing hard and playing for something they like, I actually think they're less likely to get injured. That's a weird thing, but it's only on the sometimes it's on the all-out plays that you get hurt. Sometimes it's random, but a lot of times if you lose focus, that's when you can get hurt. So with that, let's get to the true topic of today's show, which is the announcement today by Major League Soccer, something that we suspected, something that had been reported, but now it's been announced. It's official that MLS is switching from its current spring to winter schedule to a schedule that will begin in the summer in mid-July and carry through with breaks until a championship, which will be in May. May will be when MLS Cup will be lifted. Major League Soccer put out a video. This is their teaser trailer, I guess, for future seasons. So I believe that we're going to start with that, right, Tony? Start with whatever they decided to put out as their official blur, and then we'll jump off from there.
They said they were ready. They've been planning this for a year and a half. It's been in the works, and it's been well researched. And this video doesn't look like they just put it together this morning after the announcement. So here's what officially came from MLS.
Welcome to a new era for Major League Soccer. This evolution begins with a landmark shift in the competition calendar, aligning the MLS season with the top leagues around the world. The new calendar will see the 34-game MLS regular season kick off in July and run through Decision Day in April, with MLS Cup in May. Importantly, MLS will take a winter break that will see fewer games played in December, no games played in January, before resuming action with a select number of games in February. In the transition year, MLS will play a condensed regular season running from February through April, with the Audi MLS Cup playoffs in May. That season will crown an MLS Cup champion, as well as qualify teams for the CONCACAF Champions Cup. This landmark shift in the calendar will align MLS with the top leagues in the world, create premier placement for an uninterrupted Audi MLS Cup playoffs, and better position the league in the global transfer market. This is a transformational moment for Major League Soccer and the beginning of a new era for our sport in North America. Welcome to MLS 3.0.
Okay. I mean, a lot of good information there. I did almost just like lose it in laughter with that DJ Jazzy Jeff first 5 seconds. Wicka, 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 wicka. It's like, all right. I was expecting the Fresh Prince to jump in at that point. Let me tell you about MLS a time ago. Now we're gonna change it. It won't be slow. And like, no, okay. Here comes a British dude instead. MLS is changing. It is going to be amazing. Like, all right, guys, pick a tone. Pick a tone. Maybe, trumpets or something when you've got the British announcer.
It feels like you need to give it some, some authenticity to it, right? Where you were changing over to a much global calendar, and I think the British accent kind of gives it that a little bit. But
right,
it seems like we're heading in a good direction here with MLS.
Yeah.
All right. So, repeating what they said, you were starting the season mid-July. That here in San Diego means you'll be, right around the All-Star break of the Major League Baseball season. Then you continue with full-out action through November, limited games in December, and then a break. And that break is going to go until they're going to say it, but I'll say it for you. It will go until the end of Super Bowl weekend. And after Super Bowl is played, MLS will come roaring back probably the very next day, probably that Monday, and if not, the Tuesday or Wednesday of the week after Super Bowl. And it will continue critically uninterrupted from that point through to the end of April Decision Day. May gets the playoffs to themselves. There won't be a break. They can set whatever format they want, and we'll talk about that momentarily. But that's the thing. There's a lot of things I think to be excited about this. I'm very much in favor of this move. I'll just say that right off the top. So if you don't like it, cool, let's figure it out. We'll talk it through. But I like it. And I think it's actually advantageous for San Diego. I'll get to that argument as we continue forward. But I think for the league, it's terrific because you are putting your playoff in a very playoff heavy month. The NBA playoffs are in full swing. The Stanley Cup playoffs are in full swing. But you throw the MLS Cup playoffs in there as well. I still think there's bandwidth for that for soccer fans. And when your season starts mid-July, you're head-to-head with nothing but baseball in the United States all the way through till the start of NFL in September. And importantly, for the teams that play in NFL stadia, that's going to be a time that they're going to have those spots to themselves before they're sharing the market. I think that's a really nice thing for them as well. I guess there's more overall head-to-head competition, so that could be an argument maybe that someone in Charlotte would disagree with. But I just think overall, this is going to be advantageous for the league in balance.
For the sport. I mean, the sport itself is going to grow, and what a time, right? Like, this is something that has been spoken about for over 30 years, and some of those adjustments and every criticism that MLS, deserves for sometimes having weird formats and wanting to be very unique with everything. This is one where I think it's an overall victory for soccer in general in this country. It's going to be very beneficial. You're talking about competition with other teams when the season starts in July. Well, guess what? If you want to be in these, it's spoken about as a sport, as a major sport in this country, you have to go head to head with some of these sports, and you have to be able to dominate, and you have to be able to say, you know what? In July, we're in August, we can go ahead and pack a Snapdragon Stadium with 32,000. Like, that's possible. Even if it's a kickoff game, the numbers are going to be there. They're going to speak to themselves. Sure, you can watch a Stanley Cup or you can watch any other sport just kind of kick off at that time as well. But it's going to open a lot of possibilities, and it kind of takes that rust off of like, hey, this is a Mickey Mouse league. Yeah, MLS is Hey, they're aligning. They're doing the thing. They're moving. It's a giant corporation that has to do a major shift. This is a major shift for the sport here in the US.
And I think the biggest thing is getting that winter break for all the northern teams, because I think that was the number one complaint that I kept hearing from Loon fans, Toronto fans, everybody that's in a really cold state during the winter. Well, not us. We're fine.
Wouldn't know. I've
But
never seen
yeah,
snow.
and yeah, it's good for them because it's good that they figured this out. I think a winter break is fine. It's gonna line up with the holidays anyway, and there's gonna be tons of sports going on during that time, and you're gonna just get lost in the weeds potentially, because you'll have NBA basketball. I always figure that's when the official kickoff is, around Christmas time. NBA, you're gonna have your football and so on and so forth, and it's just I think that's a great way to do it. And the thing I'm interested in most is that little short window before this all kicks off. It's that little January to May. I'm calling it a tournament, but they're calling it a regular season thing that they're going to do with the MLS Cup. But I don't know how that's all going to work. I don't know who the 14 teams were going to play, but I do like this, that they're moving forward with a more global schedule.
Well, let's get into some of these specifics. The league will go from a two-conference system to a single table. So all 30 and then eventually up to 32, right? Or we're staying at 30 for now, I guess.
Yeah.
MLS teams will be in the same table. But for scheduling purposes, there will be 5 divisions of 6. Winning the Pacific Division will get you nothing, I believe. Who knows? TBD. But in the initial things that they've put out, it would be strictly for scheduling purposes, that these would be the teams, these 4 teams you'd play twice, and then you'd play everyone else once. And that would be how your schedule would be built. is what I understood. Again, we're in early days on all of this, so please don't slap me with a 1-star review just for being wrong about that down the line. They've also not announced what the playoff format would be. And hopefully it wouldn't be this. It wouldn't make sense to be this, but it could be anything now once you get to a 30-team table.
Yeah, that's true. And I think how they're breaking it down is 5 divisions, right? So 6 teams each.
Yeah.
So you play.
So right, 5 teams. Pardon me. That you'd
and
play
then
twice.
you play the other 5. But the good thing I believe is you pretty much play everybody, including Lionel Messi down the road.
Right.
So that should be good. That should be fun. I'm interested in who do you guys want in the division? Obviously, it's going to be all the California teams. I think that's just a given. But then you need 2 more.
Portland and Seattle.
I think you got to keep Vancouver, Seattle, and Timbers all together.
Ooh,
Cascadia Cup. Yeah, so you got to keep those 3 together. Are we breaking up the Texas teams?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem right.
No.
I mean,
and then there's
Colorado.
The 2 obvious ones that we would pick up are the Salt Lake and Colorado teams, but then the 3 out there in the Cascadias, they're playing. Yeah, like who are the 3 they're going to pick up? So it's kind of interesting how they're going to divide and conquer this thing.
I mean, if this is the tournament way that it's starting, and it's kind of like wonky, but everybody still has that same chance to make playoffs and win a championship, I think that's fine. But when it gets kind of confusing and a little bit shady is when it's an elimination time and you start playing these goofy games of series of 3. We're going to go ahead and just flip a coin toss at halftime and add 2 goals, like whatever playoff format, as long as it's sound going into the playoffs. I think that's what's fair. And maybe they can make those adjustments. There is one technically hurdle from what my understanding in all of this. MLS has already said it's happening, but there still has to be the green light from the players union. And so with that, it does bring the question, because now it's moving into a more global calendar. That means that when all the stars left in the regular season for international break, MLS kept churning and burning, which means a lot of new faces, a lot of players that wouldn't get minutes otherwise were able to play and contribute and be a part of the team and get those legs under them. So maybe that's something that's now off the table because everybody's in FIFA, everybody's on break, a FIFA break, and then they'll come back and then the stars will play. But that does beget a better, competitive, attractive product at the end. So I don't see that being a problem. It's not gonna matter. This is what it's gonna be. But I think that's kind of one of the kind of very, very, very minimal drawbacks of this global shift as a top league, as other top leagues like us already do.
Right.
I love that part. The Premier Leagues.
Right. Yeah, we're right there. When you see them, they're all on the same digital map. Therefore, all obviously exactly of equal size and power and talent. But how does this help MLS grow? Does this help MLS grow? The inherent assumption is that it does. I'm not saying it doesn't. I think it probably does. I'm just trying to get through the excitement of the teaser trailer to like, why does it help MLS grow? Because there's certainly some things to think about in terms of cold weather cities cold weather NFL cities specifically are adding more impacted games within their schedule via NFL and they're taking summer games out and replacing them with winter games where the weather is going to stink. So, like, to me, if I'm Chicago, if I'm Nashville, well, not Nashville, but if I'm Charlotte, pardon me, that's the one I was thinking of, not Nashville. If I'm Charlotte, Atlanta's playing indoors, but still, anywhere that you're sharing an NFL stadium, sharing an NFL market, this would seem to be potentially net negative for you in terms of interest and attendance. So I'm sure it's not universal. Why on balance would this be good for MLS?
I think, and I could add to something Tony just said about the players and having not agreeing to this. That's from Lizzie Bertrano. Uh, it kind of seems like the players are a little worried that the off season could be a little too short for them. So if the off season starts in May, and then the the next season will start in like mid July or something like that. That means player movement might be a little bit difficult, even though I think they said they would try to extend the transfer window. But yeah, I think this is a really good thing when it comes to players, globally that want to come to a league that is now starting to look a little bit more, I guess, not professional, but more in the same scales as everybody else. Um, yeah, they finally are looking towards MLS, like Audrey Dreyer. Like he's come over here at the prime of his career, and I think many others are going to start looking at this as a great opportunity um, for them to really grow in their professional career. So um, it seems like a kind of a win-win here for everybody. I think everyone's wanted this, fans have wanted this, players, everyone wanted just to line up with the global international windows. So I think everyone's kind of getting what they want here.
And a little bit to add to all this and the growth of MLS is the extension too of that transfer window that's going to be happening as well. And so that's on a global scale to be able to open your doors for business to the rest of the world and align that is going to be great. Tom Boger here. MLS plans to extend transfer windows a bit beyond what major European windows close after the schedule flips into the summer. So that's another kind of avenue for business and things to drive towards it.
Hang on. Can you put that back up again real quick? Look at the second part of that. MLS also has gotten green light from FIFA and CONCACAF to include the 3 Canadian MLS teams as domestic. So all MLS clubs will be aligned. Don't tell who that Canada is now domestic. Somebody who really is in deep with FIFA. Don't tell that guy because he's dropped that silly stuff.
Yeah.
And it's going to come right back as soon as he hears. See, I told you. Domestic. Anyways. Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
From a player movement standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
For United States players, it probably doesn't matter. For European players, isn't this better? Weren't you always having to leave in the middle of a season to come over to the start of an MLS season, or like you see with Mueller or Sonny, coming in late in MLS? Now you could get things started and aligned properly if you're getting the next great Danish player to come over, or the next great Italian or whomever, that they're not having their family life and their previous club's season interrupted in such a weird way.
Yeah, and there won't be like a David Beckham that wanted to play during the summer with someone else and then come back and have all that type of movement.
That's a real thing that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. It's a real thing that happened.
He went to Inter Milan and came back and did. Yeah, so I don't think I don't think that's gonna happen again. But everything kind of lines up with everybody else. So yeah, we will see a winter transfer window where someone new is gonna come in and help you towards the playoffs, and that's gonna be a really good thing. And they're gonna be fit, in shape, and ready to go.
As much as I hate it that it was for Arsenal, but like magical little moments of Thierry Henry playing for New York Red Bulls and then deciding to get loaned out to Arsenal, getting subbed on and scoring I don't know how many years after leaving Arsenal as the king of that place. Like those magical moments just aren't going to happen anymore. So again, if we lose that's fine. But another thing it can be minor, but it's in the ether. It's part of pop culture. It's part of what it is. But we live in 2025, and everybody plays video games, and literally EAFC/FIFA, whatever you want to call it, is a huge platform for kids, people who don't play or even watch soccer. They know I hear basketball players running tournaments, and they're not necessarily fans of or ever played the sport, but they'd like to play the game online. And with that alignment, if you buy a video game, MLS is always half a year behind. So for San Diego FC was not in EAFC 2025, even though they started in 2025. And now, and again, just to give you kind of like the sense of like all those games are every year is a roster update. But you want to have that roster update to have your up-to-date stars. And when that doesn't happen for MLS and you're still playing with a team that just just lost or these players that you don't want, like these little things matter because everybody plays these things. That's where the global aspect of learning the game really comes from. I can say that confidently that on a global scale, because of a game/addiction of FIFA or EAFC Ultimate Team, where you buy the packs and open and all that
Right.
stuff, the women's game has grown immensely because the women players on those teams are incredible. Cascarino is a rated 85 compared to a rated 85 on the men's team, and it's comparable. And you start learning these things. I had, again, Kenza Dali as my center defensive mid because she's really good and has a French connection. And now I have this wild team that has just 3 French players, Pogba and a San Diego Wave player all together. Like this is just a part of the existence of soccer in this reality. And now that's aligning too, like it's a small little thing, but it's a smart marketing thing overall. It's a smart soccer move where MLS needs all the smart soccer moves they can take credit for.
Dude, you know how true that is? Like, I remember, like, back in the day, it's like, "Hey, I wanna trade for Robbie Keane. I thought he was playing for LA Galaxy," and then all of a sudden, it's like, "I can't trade for him." Yeah,
Mhm.
MLS is just a year behind everybody. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Where the hell is he?" I'm trying to search all the rosters for Robbie Keane.
Well, now let's go from the big to the local because it seems to me, again, as I just kind of think through this, right? All right, from the league perspective, this is great. From the player perspective, they've got some concerns right now, but if they're talking about too short an offseason, what about this offseason? Isn't the CONCACAF Cup like in January? The season could end the first weekend of December. So, uh, come on, it's longer, and you get a winter break in the new schedule. Okay, so I get that. We talked about growth. We talked about international alignment. Now, when I get to the market level, again, I think this has got to be a mixed bag for MLS. They've got a lot of winter weather places. Minnesota's going to be infected by this. Our upcoming opponent, Portland won't. Seattle will, right? Like, go through the list. There's a lot of people who play in NFL parks. There's a lot of people who play in NFL markets that are taking a larger part of their schedule and putting it head to head against, plus putting a larger portion of their schedule into wintry, cold, possibly rainy, icy, whatever, hostile environments that people don't even for 2 hours want to sit out and watch. I'd feel like there should be some challenges for many markets, but not this one. In San Diego, the weather's great.
Well,
In San Diego, the weather's fine. It's fine in December. It's fine in May. It's fine every friggin' day. That's the thing about San Diego. So we should be better than ever.
how is the NWSL schedule gonna change, or are
I
they
don't
sticking
know.
with the
It's
same
on you,
one?
NWSL.
We'll find out 3 weeks before. That's
okay. Yeah.
literally how that runs.
But yeah, for us, on the micro level, yeah, it's just gonna be NWSL and then San Diego State, playing in the Snapdragon, and you know, I know exactly those details of the deal. It doesn't matter what NWSL does. I'm sorry, ladies, but that's just the deal that they did with San Diego State. They have priority.
As
So
Tom Penn told me once, we paid more. Period.
they did.
Makes
Two-
sense.
200K a game is that right?
I get it.
Yeah, so it's gonna be just the conflict's just gonna be in the fall with San Diego State, but it's better to do those first few games than doing it what's happening now, right? Where there's playoff games and there's a conflict where we can't play on a weekend, but we can play on Monday, and we still sell out the stadium, which is phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah.
And but yeah, now it's like you're getting those fall games out of the way. You're gonna head into hopefully a playoff schedule that's you're the only tenant in town for that. So that's really cool. Yeah, it's really good for everybody else. I think we will see Minnesota, Chicago, possibly play in LA and San Diego and anywhere else in California and Texas and the southern states, because that's where it's warmer to start off the season. And then I think what's going to happen is those are the games that we see, like non-divisional games to start off the season, and then the divisional games that potentially could matter are going to be like at the tail end of it, which I think that kind of works.
There could be a winter block and then a block in April.
Yep.
And just to get back to that, because the first time I said it, I said 6-team division, and then I thought about a 5-team division, and so I said it wrong. But if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. If you have 5 opponents in your 6-team division and you play them twice, that's 10 games. Then there's 24 remaining opponents in MLS. You play them once each. That's 34 matches, and that matches what is already happening. So it really gives you a lovely opportunity to see everyone every year, and every other year have an international superstar in your home market, like a Messi or a Muller or whoever the next one is, that comes across. And when Salah comes to us, we'll be visiting their markets every other year, and I'm still going to keep that torch lit. Back here in the back. Wait, real quick, which torch should I keep lit more? Mo Salah SD, Mota SD, #Mota SD, or Mansour stepping up and saying, hey, look, I own SDFC, but what about the Padres? How about both? How about the double?
I think Salah's probably the more likely. What do you think, Tony?
Well, I mean, I see Saquon already everywhere with the Padres. That's a decent chunk. Hey, do you really want Manny Machado as a part investor in its own team? I don't know.
Well, I mean, right. He's just like, here, I'm giving you back my own money.
He pays himself. He just
pre-installed with the stadium, just break in case of whatever you need him for. I just hope that the rendering, the prophecy for San Diegans happens, because I remember it like it was yesterday. But the announcement of, hey, pitch boxes and this and this and this. You guys remember that rendering that included Messi?
Oh yeah,
There he is.
that's right. I remember. Yeah.
And yeah, like people were promised Messi.
Like that guy's pointing at him.
Yeah, like there he is.
Look, it's Messi.
Who's number 17? Right there. We'll fill in the point. There's Chucky. Chucky's right there in the rendering. But this was something that San Diego FC was not pleased by with MLS, because this is a missed opportunity for San Diego FC, because you didn't know what San Diego FC was going to be. You didn't know that you needed to go ahead and have a 7K giveaway game that nobody's paying for because in the middle of the season your team stinks. No, it's the complete opposite. You didn't need Messi to sell out stadium, and so that's fantastic. But I know SanDiego FC was peeved by the league by not including him, and then there was the hope of maybe Leagues Cup, but no, we don't talk about Leagues Cup.
No, we do not. Last thing for me is the global organization that SanDiego FC is a part of. Doesn't this benefit the Right to Dream partnership overall to align to their schedules to make cross team movement easier overall?
Maybe. I well, we saw how things worked out with Milan Lasky. I mean, he wasn't here that long, so that was a short loan, and for I don't know for whatever reason, it just didn't it wasn't long enough, and yeah, that's going to be an interesting relationship, like moving forward, like regardless of the schedule change. It's just I mean I actually have an eye on a player from FC Northland that maybe I'll share on another podcast. But yeah, it are those players going to make the move to MLS, or are like more of our guys going to go over there? And it's kind of I'm kind of still trying to figure out like what is the move here that we can see that's going to benefit both leagues, both teams. And it's like I saw how things worked out with the Lasky, and it's like, well, he was here for a short time, not a long time. Yeah.
Tony, he
Can't
said
say
a
it third
price
time.
that's $10 into the swear jar
Yeah, it's like saying Macbeth
for the end of the year party.
You
It's
can't. You gotta,
Beetlejuice.
you got to call it the Scottish play. Then you got to recite Puck's last monologue in Midsummer Night's Dream to reverse the curse. Anyway,
Yeah.
But yeah, do you still think? By the way, let's just temp check. Is SDFC the A side in Right to Dream right now?
That's a good question. I'm still trying to figure that out.
We haven't seen a lot of it, but like I think that has a lot to do with it when it comes to where players are going to go from here to there.
Right.
If teams are coming directly to SanDiego FC and the agents start scouting SDFC a little bit more than FC Northland. Look at Bombino, right? They had connections to West Bromwich Albion, and he doesn't have anything really to do with FC Northland. So where is that kind of a market going to go ahead and be? And eventually it's going to come down to this. What's going to be more profitable? Where the player is going to go from MLS? Is it easier to have a player go from MLS, play him in the more European style / atmosphere into FC Northland, and then to an Ajax, and then go that way? But these are conversations, possibilities that are now more available because of this schedule change, and because there's set lines, and because MLS has that, at least for this upcoming change, that extended transfer window. Say a week goes by and you just, I need an extra midfielder. Hey, Northland, like, can I get another one of our guys? Okay, here you go. Have those players that played against Cholos, what were they called? Like generic player 35 or
GP.
Yeah,
GP.
like some of those players can just become part and just stay here in SanDiego and get tryouts that way. So it's very interesting times for SanDiego. Another reason why the rest of the league doesn't like SanDiego, because they're able to do that, because they have access to another team. And this is yet another advantage that nobody's really talking about, outside of behind closed doors, because it's a reality. This is an advantage for SanDiego FC to be able to do this.
Yeah, and I didn't even think about that. Like, yeah, if the season starts in July, and let's just say someone picks up an injury, and between July and let's just say it's September 1st transfer window, and yeah, you pick up an injury in August. Yeah, there is that potential of like, okay, we need somebody to fill this role, and let's call up FC Northland and get a loan in really quick before the window closes. Yeah, that actually, that could actually work out.
I think this is a fascinating thing just to track over time, because that question, San Diego FC, are you the A side of Right to Dream? That is fascinating. And I don't think we'll know until 7 years from now if there are more Danish kids in Singing Hills or more Mexican kids in Farum, Denmark.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
you know, they've set up a small taqueria, economy up there in Denmark just because of the way of the global flow and how the flow is coming from across the border and then all the way out to the Nordic lands. I mean, it could go that way. That
Mhm.
flow could occur that direction, or it could come back the other direction. It's really fascinating to think about, and exciting and synergistic, honestly, to think about going forward. All right, guys. Any other thoughts on this this particular global topic before we put a wrap on it?
No, I think I'm good. I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting for sure, and it's a step in the right move. Maybe the next part is Gam Tam. Just
Knocking that all down.
let's
Wham bam to the
look.
gam
It's all
tam.
yeah.
Messi wants it gone, and he's soon going to be part of this league as a owner, as and he's Lionel Messi. Like that was one of the things that he complained about was the salary cap, and that it's a reality where if you really want to compete also with other sports here, and we're handing out $300 million plus deals to athletes, then you're going to have to pay up for some of these top athletes if you want to be a premier club in a premier league. So that's it's a step into the right direction. We'll see what the catalyst of the World Cup really does to this conversation too.
Yeah, and yeah, figuring out Gam and Tim, and then Pro Rel eventually, hopefully.
Not gonna happen.
Come No, well, not with that
When you
attitude.
pay when you pay half a bill to get into the league, how can you be swapped out for FC San Antonio because you had a bad season? It's just it doesn't. I don't know. How do you let Arizona, whatever it was called, Phoenix Rising or whatever that I've already banished them from my memory.
Yeah, well, you do pay that in the to be an expansion team, yes, but there's always people divesting from MLS. Like I think Real Salt Lake was one of those teams that their ownership is just like gone. They're done. Someone else took over, and those things do happen. And I think if this country actually really wants to be a soccer powerhouse and be talked about in the top 5, top 10 leagues or whatever, I think they have to move in that direction and actually get the proper infrastructure with it too. We can't be playing in college football stadiums, I think. So
This upcoming game would have sold out with a 50K stadium here in the South Bay in just the
true,
same amount of time.
Yeah, it would have.
true.
It
Oh,
would have.
yeah.
No, it would have.
But yeah, we're seeing progress. We're seeing progress getting there, and yeah, I like it. I think great time to join MLS.
As a Mexican fan, it sucks. Sorry, Craig.
Oh
I hate it when the US gets soccer's things right. And they
yeah, we're still Liga MX still stuck with the spring fall schedule. That's always fun.
we'll see everybody in the round of 16 and in the World
It-
Cup. And
but is
Yes, you will.
is Pro Rel coming back?
they say that is. They
Yeah,
say
they
it
say
is.
it is,
They say it
yeah.
is, but they'll take it away. But it's
Okay.
all good.
Yeah.
But it's a good conversation, and we'll keep track of it as the years
Mhm.
come by. One day I'll say, didn't we all miss playing in November, guys? There's only 2
Yeah.
Novembers where SDFC is ever going to play. So
Well, that's going to do it for episode number 23 of Chromaniacs. I'll let you know on episode 24 coming up next week, we will have the return of Voice of the Supporter. Steve Brokoff has promised, I'm going to throw it out there publicly and put him on blast, that he'll be there for episode number 24, the leader of the locals. We're also lining up Matt, the leader of the Riptides, and we'll be getting him on before too long as well. Plus, of course, SDFC Minnesota playoff match preview, getting ready for do or die once again for San Diego FC. Home game once again for San Diego FC. On the way out, Tony, what's going on with our mates at SanDiego.Futbol?
That's right. SanDiego.Futbol. That is the name of the game, the website, the YouTube channel, everything that we do, local soccer in San Diego, San Diego FC, San Diego Wave, UPSL on Sunday. We call games at Mission Bay High School. They are involved in Open Cup, the only team with the name San Diego involved in Open Cup.
True. Real fact.
Check us out, SanDiego.Futbol, on all things social media. Alex?
Yeah, and Chromatic FC on Substack. I think I'll be previewing the Loons and just kind of focusing on what they've been doing in the playoffs. And then, we're going to have a big episode next week. Couple supporters, preview. Yeah, it's going to be a fun episode next week.
Cannot wait. For myself, of course, you can follow me on Instagram at 619 Sports and Life. I invite you to follow us as a group on Instagram at the Chromaniacs. Also, myself, Chris Reed, Rafi Cantor, the hosts of Padres Hot Tub. We were working earlier this afternoon recording a new live show because Padres announced, their owner announced that they're exploring a sale of the club. Well, our patrons got that show live on our Discord exclusively for them. You can join that group, patreon.com/Padres Hot Tub. Every time something exciting happens, we're sharing that exclusively with our patrons later for the free feed. But check it out, patreon.com/Padres Hot Tub. There's a brand new Crossing Streams as well, where Chris and I broke down the lowdown. What a great show that was on FX and is on FX. And one of the actors on the show, Eric Edelstein, who is a longtime friend of Chris, he came on. We had an incredible conversation. If you just like TV talk, acting talk, check it out. Crossing Streams, available where you get this show. For Tony Sanchez and Alex Pena, I'm Craig Elston. Thanks for being with us. If you haven't hit that thumbs up, please give it to us on the way out. And until we talk to you next week, vamos, SDFC.